What is going on, YouTube? Troken here. Welcome back to Drawface, and in today's video we're going over how to upgrade your Lux structure deck from the Proving Grounds box set. We're about 6 days away now. Super exciting stuff from the release. For those that are getting the Proving Grounds box set, this is the video for you, as it's going to upgrade your structure deck so you could enter into your local game tournaments. Little disclaimer, last time we had a Master Yi structure deck, and someone mentioned in the comments that that wasn't really an upgrade. This is a completely different deck list, as only 7 of the original cards were in it. So I'm going to try to keep about 70% to 80% of the deck, right? And just add maybe like 6 to 8 cards or something like that. He was absolutely correct. That was by no means an upgrade. It was just a completely different deck list. So we're going to try better in this video. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I greatly appreciate your support. This channel goes over, we do live streams on TTS with deck lists. We go over a new deck list, we go over the tournament meta, and future pack openings. So if you like the video, definitely hit that button. So let's go into the Proving Grounds deck list. So obviously, luck decks, we are a 6-6 split of Order and Mind runes. The battlefield that comes with it will be Star-Tipped Peak. When you hold here, you may channel 1 rune exhausted. I think that's fair. I think we can keep this in it. And actually, looking at the main deck, it's actually really strong. So not much to do here, thankfully. So you can get away with the bulk of these cards here and maybe replace some of them that don't really fit in. So going into the main deck, you get 2 of the Lux Crown Guard, which is the one that's generally played in the current meta for like Time Warp combos. But I don't really want to add it into a Time Warp deck. More like kind of like super control-y, big spells, capitalizing on the Legend ability, which lets you draw a card when you play a spell card that costs 5 or more. Furthermore, we're going with it has 2 Lux Illuminated, which is the blue Lux. It's a good card. It's just a little too expensive for my liking. However, you know, we can keep this in here as it is a champion unit, and you can kind of switch out to whatever playstyle you like better. If you want to spend more on spells, right, with the other Lux, you can choose that as your chosen champion, or you can switch it up with Lux Illuminated for a little bit of unit presence. Further into the deck, we have 3 Stupefies. Really good, awesome. I'm glad they're in there. That's really ridiculous. 3 Ravenbloom students. A playset of Ravenbloom is awesome. They go in like pretty much any blue deck. 3 of the Daring Poros, which is really cool. 2 Eager Apprentice, solid. 3 Lecturing Yordle, which is such a good card. Keep this in the deck, guys. This is so legit. I love Lecturing Yordle. People use it in the Kaisa decks. The fact that you get a playset of it is really good. 3 back-to-back, kind of meant more for like Darius or Garen, but it's fine. 3 vanilla cards in Vanguard Sergeant. It is a 4/4, and it does nothing. 3 Falling Comet. This is a really good spell for the Lux deck. It costs 5. It does 6 damage and is at action speed. Very strong spells card for this deck because you could also basically, it should just say draw a card if you're playing Lux. We also have, how many? We have 3 Vanguard Attendants. Generally, unit that's not really played. Like, it just enters ready. It's decent. It's actually not that great. Honestly, now that I think about it, it's okay. 3 Blast of Power, strong removal, just straight up kill a unit. If it's annoying, just get rid of it. One of the best removal spells in the game, Singularity, and you get a playset of it. Absolutely insane. So good. So far, we went over the Master Yi deck. There was a lot to do in that deck. On this one, it seems like we can keep at least, if not 70 to 80% of the original deck and just add a couple cards, and you're definitely going to see a boost in power when it comes to this deck. That is amazing. You get 3 Singularities. Absolutely insane. We also have 2 Megamechs, which is a vanilla card for 7/8. It's all right. You know, this is probably one of the cards that we're going to be switching out. And then also the 2 signature spells in Final Spark. So going into what we're taking out, first glances at the deck, we're going to take out the 3 back-to-backs. We're going to be taking out the 3 Vanguard Sergeants. We're going to be taking out the 3 Vanguard Attendants. And honestly, I think 3, 6, 9 cards is pretty solid. Maybe the Mega Mech, but I think it's okay. I don't want to take out too much because then it's not really really upgrading the deck. It's just making a completely new deck list. I do have an idea of what to replace Mega Mech with, but we're just going to leave it in for the sakes of, on release day, we're only going to be getting a couple packs depending on how much product is available. So with minimum effort and a very budget friendly mindset, we're just going to be removing those 3 play sets of cards, so 9 cards in total. Going into what we're going to add, other than the battlefields, of course. So we're going to keep the Star Tip Peak, obviously. I'd like to add Sigil of Storm into this deck and Obelisk of Power. I think it works well with Lux. We do have the help with the champion unit that is the Yellow Lux to add 2 power, so recycling a rune isn't too bad when you conquer Sigil of the Storm, and it punishes your other opponent. And Obelisk of Power is just good. It ramps both players, obviously, by 1 rune in the beginning of the game. However, you benefit from that greatly because you have wonderful 3 drops. And yeah, those are just like 2 solid battlefields. They are all uncommons, the battlefield, so it depends what you pick up. By any means, if you see a battlefield that you think is better, and or something that you have, you're like, oh hey, I really want to play this, smash it into the deck, guys. This is your deck. I'm just suggesting, from my experience playing Riftbound for like 3 or 4 months, what to add in. Going into the main deck. Oh yeah, and also we're keeping the 6 and 6 split. That is absolutely fine. Obviously, if you feel like it's lacking behind in a rune or something, but remember, because of the champion unit in Yellow Lux, you get those 2 extra energy costs mitigated from her ability, which is really strong. It's like the point of the deck. But going into the main deck, we will be adding 2 smoke screens. Smoke screens is important, right? Especially for Lux. Other than the tail end of the deck, right, you're going to be in the early game suffering a little bit, even though you're going to be playing some spells, maybe boosting Ravenbloom Student. You want to really save your Eager Apprentice to keep those spell costs low, right, and score as many points as possible and kind of control the game with your big late game spells, right? So if you can get ahead on board in the early game, the late game is going to be a lot easier because you have tons of removal, and you can punish your opponent that way. So smoke screen's important because it minuses 4 might from a enemy unit that is going to the battlefield, and the fact that it's at reaction speed is super, super strong. You can even tap your Lux, right, and then only pay 1 power to cast smoke screen. It is a great card for showdowns. The bulk of the gameplay is happening in showdowns. The more important things happen in showdowns. So Smokescreen is just a ridiculous card, and I think it needs to be added. And the fact that it is a common, it is really, really good. I was checking on Card Market. Obviously, there are pre-order prices. They're at 19 cents. All commons and uncommons seem like they're 19 or 29 cents. And yeah, so you can easily get a playset of this for less than 50 cents. So you should be really good. I'm sorry, a little more than 6, so 60 cents in general. But we only need 2 of them, so that is good to go. We're going to be adding one of the better blue units that is very, very strong. And the fact that it's uncommon is a plus for us because we're keeping in mind the mindset that this has to be a budget deck or a budget upgrade. Sprite Mother. 3 Sprite Mothers onto the deck is insane. This card does work. You have to time when you want to play it carefully, right? Obviously with an open battlefield, because for 4 energy and 1 power, you create a ready 3 Sprite unit token with temporary. So it does go away on your, let's just say, awakening phase, right? So you won't score that holding point. However, if the fact that they could just slide in and score a quick point, or even take out a cheap unit from your opponent's end and still develop another 3 might unit body onto your base, super, super strong. It's basically you're paying 4 and at power for a 6 might unit. That's really good for that's just so strong. Kaiso decks play this, a lot of blue decks play this, Ari plays this. It's just super strong, super responsive. You could take out, like I said, a cheap unit on your opponent's end, conquer a battlefield. Then you could also just play units on top of that on that battlefield so that you're holding that position when the sprite goes away. Very versatile, really strong card. It's actually quite a menace of a card. The only thing that really counters this is Gust, right? So if you're playing purple, watch out for that. The Gust will get rid of the sprite as it's entering the battlefield, and it just fizzles away, and then it's just, then you kind of, it's a little bit of a downside. However, not many people play that like Gusts too often, right? So don't worry about it, but it's still a great addition to this deck. It'll definitely boost the power level of the deck, and you guys are gonna like it a lot. And the fact that it's uncommon is ridiculous. And then honestly, the only other thing I want to add to the deck, I would add, maybe I'll go over it in a second, but you can keep the Mega Mech. I would like to add 3,000 Tail Watchers. Now, this rare, I was on stream yesterday playing this deck, right? This rare is insane. It's proven time and time again. Every time I go against this card, I'm like, wow, this card is so strong. And every time I play this card, I kind of feel bad because I'm like, dude, this card is just so overpowered. It's insane. 7 energy, 1 power, 7 might. You can accelerate it for a energy and another power, and it gives everything that your opponent has -3. If you get this card, right, it is a rare, right? So every pack is guaranteed at least 1 rare, and you have a chance of getting 2, one of which being a foil, right? So if you get this card and you're running blue, put it in. This is like the main backbone of a lot of the Kaisa decks, right? It is a turning point card in your deck, right? You can come from behind and move in on to battlefields with this card and your other units that are on base, because at -3 everything is just so strong. The might is good. I think it actually costs too little. Honestly, like me and my friend Oni were talking about this card, and the fact that it is only 7 energy and 1 power for 7 might. Yes, you can accelerate it, but that 7 might is very important for some breakpoints, because like as we see in our spells, right, the more like damage deal, the higher damage dealing spells are like Falling Comet, which is a 6, or Singularity. This escapes that breakpoint, right? So they're gonna have to do a little more work to get rid of it, other than like contesting with units. But in terms of spells, it's very, very safe on board. And yeah, definitely add this card. It is only a rare, and honestly, guys, that is it. Like, there you go. We're just adding 3 more cards. One is not even a playset, so Smoke Screen, Sprite Mother, and Thousand Tail Watcher. Now, the Mega Mech I would like to replace with Dr. Mundo. However, if you get Dr. Mundo, grab it. But honestly, the Mega Mech 7-8 is actually really decent. It is cheap compared to its might. Usually it's like for when it comes to vanilla cards, it's either even or just 1 more, so it kind of fits that mold. So you could leave it or you could replace it for the sakes of it being budget. We're only adding 3 rares and 5 commons, or sorry, 2 commons and 3 uncommons. So honestly, that makes the deck look a whole lot better. It still has the mystique of it being a spell heavy control deck with really powerful units. And honestly, it just I wish they would have just done it like this. But obviously, for purposes of if you get a deck in Proving Grounds and it's already like competitive ready, then there's no point in opening packs, and it is a business. So but yeah, that is it, guys. Really easy today. I tried to keep it as swapping as little cards as possible to make it a little more budget friendly, a little more easier to construct. So if you get your Proving Grounds deck, you can just replace it with 3, 6, 7, 8 cards, and you're good to go. Maybe 10 if you have Dr. Mundo, because I would really like Dr. Mundo in this deck because of the recycle effect. But yeah, that is it, guys. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys get what you want when the game releases. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next one. All right, peace.